This is a tremendous intelligence victory for Israel, and it took years to develop and perfect. The question now is just round one, meaning does Israel have another intelligence coup waiting to happen down the road? My feeling is yes.
We're here with Scott Ritter, former Marine Corps intelligence officer, UN weapons inspector. He writes at scottritter.substack.com. Scott, in the previous segment, we talked about Iran's retaliation against Israel, firing ballistic missiles, hypersonic missiles at Tel Aviv. Now, I want to ask you about the initial Israeli attack on Iran. In this aspect, Israel released footage of what it said was a secret drone base and operatives that it covertly had in action inside Iranian territory. And Israel claims that they used this drone base to strike Iranian military assets, wiping out Iran defenses, using this to assassinate Iranian top military leaders and nuclear scientists. And this is their claim, that this drone base, which they managed to build over the years, over a long period, was used for this operation. And also advanced weapons were smuggled in by Israel into Iran to carry out this operation. First of all, do you believe this account? And if so, I mean, what do you make of this, given and especially your background as a military veteran, as an intelligence officer?
First of all, I do believe it. I mean, I believe that this is not only within the realm of possibility, but this is exactly the sort of thing that Israel should be doing if they're going to carry out this kind of attack. That doesn't mean I condone it. I'm not condoning. I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that this is needed. But Israel already proved this. Remember, it was a drone that killed Haniyeh in Tehran on Inauguration Day. On a day when the supreme leader and the president met with Haniyeh, he was killed in a location in a secure hotel room that was supposed to be secret. The Israelis were able to launch a drone from within the greater Tehran area and then take that drone using very specific intelligence and assassinate Haniyeh. They knew which room to hit, when to hit it, when he was going to be there. This shows that there is an unprecedented penetration by Israel of Iran to gather that kind of intelligence. And I've been saying ever since then, and I told it, you may know, Professor Mirandi, the Iranian, good man, good friend of mine. I think greatly of him, but I've told him at the time, I said, if this comes to a war, the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to be a massive decapitation strike using these drones. That Israel just said, we have this capability. That was meant to be a deterrence thing. He dismissed it. Well, it's the first thing that happened. Those special operators, I don't think were at the drone base. I think those special operators were actually Saudi Matkal commandos who were firing what are known as spike missiles, sort of a line of sight guided missile that can go up and then be guided optically down onto targets. And that means that they had special operators on the ground hunting down valuable assets, tracking them, and then when the time came, setting up and launching on them. They took out ballistic missile sites. They took out deployed missiles. They took out high-value air defense, mobile. This is mobile relocatable targets. Again, it's an amazing success for the Israelis because we've tried to do this we tried to do it in Iraq. We sent Delta Force, the British and SAS in. We were not successful. What the Israelis did is they sent in these teams. And these teams didn't just show up to do this. These teams have been on the ground in Iran tracking these high-value targets as they relocate. And when the time came, taking them out. And this is why you didn't get an immediate Iranian response. The immediate Iranian response is supposed to be from operational assets that have been deployed to the field. And so Iran had basically the first salvo already in the field ready to go. That was taken out by these special operators. They destroyed Iran's initial salvo. That's why you only had 100 Shaheeds being fired as the initial retaliation. No missiles were fired because all the operational missiles that should have been in that first salvo were taken out by the Israelis. Also, the Israelis were able to penetrate Iran sufficiently because the special operators were able to carve a corridor through Iran's air defense network using these special operators and using these drones. But the big thing is that the Iranians launched these drones and they were in Tehran, taking out the apartment that these senior officials lived in. This wasn't, airstrikes coming in. These were FPV drones coming in and punching through and killing people. This is a tremendous intelligence victory for Israel. And it took years to develop and perfect. The question now is just round one, meaning does Israel have another intelligence coup waiting to happen down the road? My feeling is yes, that Israel wouldn't do this with only one wave of intelligence, that Israel, we may see something happen in the next couple of days, and it may be regime altering, meaning that Israel may opt to take out the Ayatollah, may take out the president, take out more senior leadership, because they wouldn't just go in with one punch. And that's not the Israel that I know. They will have another thing. But what Israel can't stop are these missiles. Now, I will also say this: if I were the Israelis, I would have additional special forces assets on the ground, looking for where these missiles were fired from and then tracking them back to their point of origin. And that tomorrow I would expect Israel to pound the living out of wherever these missiles came from. It's a high risk thing, but we're beyond norms. We are talking about war right now. And in war, the normal constraints of casualty aversion are out the window. So every man on the ground in Iran today is a disposable resource. Every pilot that flies in is a disposable resource. We're talking about existential survival of nations right now. But I do believe that Israel probably has some tricks left up its sleeve that you will see unfold over the course of the next several days. The only problem for Israel is that Iran has lots of missiles, and if Iran can continue to repeat this exercise every night, I think that Iran's capacity to sustain trumps Israel's capacity to come up with new surprises.
Come see us on tour in Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.